Welcome into a Friday edition of Hittin Hard with John Chuckery. Today on the show, it's time to dream big in Atlanta for the Hawks. Braves Nation has come out in full force for this All-Star voting, and it's time to embrace change in the world of college football. It's all next. It's Hittin Hard with John Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin Hard with John Chuckery, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, and it starts now.
We welcome into this Friday edition of Hittin Hard with John Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, reminding you head over to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into your search browser. When you find us, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment. Of course, we are free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Download us today. When you get there, leave us a 5-star review, and of course, give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Obviously, it's a busy week in Atlanta for the Hawks as the Dejounte Murray trade was officially announced yesterday. They got Murray in a center to make the money work out right for Gallinari and picks and things like that. A very low-risk trade for the Atlanta Hawks. But I say it's time to dream even bigger than that. So we got word the other day that Kevin Durant has gone to their ownership and said he wants out of the Brooklyn Nets, wants to be traded. Now, Durant, in his mandate, if you will, he had mentioned about the idea of the Heat and the Suns were two of his favorite teams, or two of the teams that he was most wanting to go to. Now, I don't know how Miami swings the money, and we also heard that Brooklyn has said a couple things. One is they want the best deal possible for them. With all due respect to Durant, he's got 4 years left on his contract. 4 years left on his contract. They want what's best for their franchise. And we also heard word yesterday that unless the Suns are willing to start with Devin Booker in a trade, that it probably wasn't going to happen. Well, Booker signed a 4 for $214 extension yesterday. Don't think that he's going anywhere. But here's what I say. It's time to dream big. Why not the Atlanta Hawks? One is the Hawks, by not giving up much of anything in a trade, have the assets and pieces. And to be honest with you, no matter who it is, I keep Trae, I keep Murray. You want Collins or Hunter or Herter or Bogey or Capella. And again, you've got Capella 20 plus million. Collins is 25 million. You've got Herter's about 15 million. Bogey is 17, 18 million. You have the pieces and assets. Plus, you've got your young guys from the last couple of years. They want Johnson or a Cooper or an AJ Griffin that we just drafted. Whatever. Those are all available. And the Hawks also have their first-round pick from this year. The one that they gave away is the one that they got in the Cam Reddish trade. That's what they gave up to get Dejounte Murray. That was a protected pick. They do have their first-round pick available this year. Now, why do we want KD? I don't know. He's only the best offensive player in the entirety of the NBA. And if we're talking about real top-tier superstars, tippy-top guys in the league, right? Giannis, LeBron, Steph, KD, that's the guys we're talking about. And those guys don't just come along every so often. And KD's a little bit older, but again, you talk about one of the real difference makers. You talk about the complete offensive nightmare matchup that KD brings. This would be it. And if we're going to do it and we're going to get in the luxury tax, then why not? Now, in just a second, I'll give you what Tony Ressler had said previously. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at betonline.net. They're sponsoring the show today. It is your number one source for all of your betting needs and sports information. So one great thing about summertime, right? We got lots of things going on. You got golf tournaments every weekend. You got Major League Baseball every day. Even if your team isn't playing, you have a full slate of MLB games that are available to you. We got boxing. We got MMA. We got all kinds of things going on. And, of course, we're headed right to fall in football season. So you can go to betonline.net, go on their website, find all of your latest sports information, league reviews, news, all kinds of things going on there. Get all of your sports wagering information. They've got live betting, esports, scores, everything up there that you need. So betonline.net is your best source for all things sports scores, podcast news, and all of your betting needs that are out there. Again, with baseball happening every day, it's very easy to jump on there and put some money down and make a wager and try to win. It's the easiest, quickest way to do it. Head to the website today. Use your mobile device. You can download the app, learn more about trends and actions. BetOnline.net is where the game starts. Now, Tony Ressler had said a month or so ago, maybe a little bit longer, 6 weeks, whatever like that, about the idea that if it made business sense, the Hawks were willing to go into the luxury tax. Well, if Kevin Durant isn't reason to go into the luxury tax, I don't really know what is. And you put any combination of pieces and parts together, the Hawks will still have some players left over. There'll still be some guys, whether it's young guys, a Herter or a Bogey or a Collins or whatever, there'll be some pieces and parts that were left. But if you want to talk about truly changing the dynamic, because I think the Hawks are just below, say, Milwaukee, Boston right now. Okay, you put Kevin Durant on this roster. Now we are with Boston and Milwaukee. Now we're at that top tier of the Eastern Conference. And now we can legitimately talk about, hey, we are one of the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. There are a few guys that can make that kind of a difference on the franchise. He is it. And the other part of this is, and I don't care what Durant's mindset, you have him under contract for 4 years. So it's not like he's going to be here a year and walk. He may want to trade. Who knows? We'll worry about that down the road. But I do know that he is under contract for 4 years. And yeah, he's going to cost a crap ton of money, right? Yeah, he's going to command a high salary. But you know what? If I can add the best offensive player in the league to my roster that's going to have 2 of the top point guards in the NBA, no doubt about it. We're a better franchise all the way around. So while I understand that it was a bold move to go get Dejounte Murray, the great part about that trade was you didn't really have to give up assets. Gallinari was a guy who was going to be gone anyway. He's a salary dump. You still have pieces and parts, whether it's your young guys like Herter or if they want an AJ Griffin or a Johnson, Cooper, whatever. You have those guys available. They want a veteran? Cool. Here's John Collins, who, by the way, is still a young guy, but he is a veteran making $25 million a year. You can make this work. And for all the naysayers that get all angry, by the way, a lot of those people, I promise you, probably wanted Deshaun Watson here with the Falcons. But anyway, for everybody talking about, oh, there's drama with KD. Who cares? Who cares what the drama is? I'm getting the best offensive player in the league. I'll figure out the drama. That's where Nate McMillan has to be a good coach. Remember the Lakers? Remember that Shaq? Well, probably a lot of you don't remember this, but I'll remind you. Remember Shaq and Kobe and all those guys were together? That whole team was together 3 years before they figured it out. You know what changed? They went from who was it? Kurt Rambis and I can't remember the guy's name, not Ellis, but they had 2 coaches before that. Then they brought in Phil, and it completely changed. That's Nate's job. Figure it out. Put your superstars together and make it happen. Who on the roster would say, no, we don't want the best scorer. We don't want the best offensive player in the NBA. Well, I don't know if he plays enough defense. You got three guys that can be 30 point. You got 2 guys that can be 30-point scorers and another guy that's 20 and 2 guys that hand out over 9 assists. Brother, you make this thing work. And why not Atlanta? We have the pieces, the parts. We're an up-and-coming franchise. We now have 2 star players, and we have plenty of assets. By the way, the Hawks have their first-round pick this year. So if you want to include first-round picks, and they could give away the pick they're going to swap, in 2026, you can make this thing happen. Why not? It's time to think big and bold. You want big, bold change to the Atlanta Hawks? This would be it. Now, is Durant going to end up coming here at the end of the day? I don't know. Probably not. Is it a long shot? Yes. But I'll promise you this. Travis Schlenk, Landry Fields, whoever, they've been on the phone. I promise you that they have called up Brooklyn to inquire about what it would take. Tony Ressler's a go-for-it guy. I've talked to Tony Ressler before. He's a go-for-it guy. Let's win. Let's make it happen. They don't want to run it back. They want to change this thing up. Brother, you had Dejounte Murray and Kevin Durant in one offseason. You've completely changed things up. And now the conversation starts with, okay, Who's legitimate title contenders in the NBA? Oh, the Hawks have added Dejounte Murray and Kevin Durant. Yeah, they're a legitimate title contender. There isn't a whole lot of question at that point about whether or not do the Hawks have enough stars? Do they have enough? Yeah, they've got all that. They've got all of that and more. So I say dream big, go bold, and make it happen. Let's get Kevin Durant here. All right, when we come back, the Braves have done a great job in Braves Nation of getting their superstars on this all-star ballot. And we got one confirmation yesterday about a starter that some people may not be as excited about. We'll talk about that next. It's Hitting Hard with John Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.